All right, good day everybody. This is a quick tutorial on MyFitnessPal. I'm just going to go through some general things here. Something to note, if you just signed up for your MyFitnessPal account, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions in the beginning. And these questions are basically for the app to help guide you in terms of calorie needs for the day. Don't worry about this. Okay, just put in whatever you want. It doesn't matter because ultimately we're going to go by the macros that I give you, okay? We are just using this app solely for accounting of macros. All right, so let's go through it. I'm actually gonna enter in my breakfast this morning, but before I do that, this right here, exercise, if this gets populated by a certain number, it'll get populated by calories. Just ignore it, okay? And ignore this. Okay, unless you buy the premium version and you change this. Okay, you can pay attention to it, I guess, if you want. But ultimately, all we care about are the totals of macros, which I'll show you how to check out as you go through your day. Okay, so let's just get into it. We're gonna spend most of our time on the food diary tab down here. So I'm just gonna click food diary. Here we go, food diary, and I'm gonna enter in my breakfast. So here we go. I'm gonna add in, and this is a totally new account. I did that purposely. I'm gonna type in oatmeal because that was one of the things I had here this morning. And the little green shield with the white check mark, that just means the food has been verified. That just means that the macros versus whatever quantity is accurate, okay? So we know that it's a good reading, or at least it should be a good reading. I have seen it where it's not, but usually it is, okay? So in this case, I'm going to choose dry oatmeal. Now, what's the problem with this default? Well, the problem with this default is it's measured in volume. I do not want you weighing foods. Sorry, I do not want you measuring solids by volume. You're going to measure solids by weight, okay? So we're going to do that. So weights would be ounces or grams, okay, or milligrams in that case. But obviously, milligrams is we're not going to deal with milligrams. That is too small. So either grams or ounces. That's what we're going to do. All right. So in this case, I had 60 grams. I'm going to choose the unit grams, and I'm going to hit the check box there. The check mark there, and then I'm going to, what was my number of servings? So I'm in grams. I had 60 grams of oatmeal, so I'm just gonna scroll to 60 here. There we go, 60 servings of 1 gram or 60 grams. I'm gonna hit the little check mark, and there we go. Now, if you look right here, we can see our macros right away just from this one entry. We've got just a little over 40 grams of carbs. Just under 4 grams of fat, just under 8 grams of protein. Okay, so carbohydrate dominant food by far. And I'm just gonna hit the check mark up here, and it's entered in. Okay, so there's my first thing. The second thing I had eggs, and I had 2 of them. So I'm just gonna type in eggs. I'm gonna do a search. And I'm not too fussy with this in terms of getting exactly with eggs. Usually an egg is about 70 grams, but we're just gonna go with 1 large, and I'll just double check what it says here. So about 5 grams of fat and about 6.5 grams of protein. That's probably accurate. Maybe it was 6.7 or 6.8, but that's, we're within 1 gram for sure. This is accurate. And so I'm gonna choose 2 of these. I had 2 large eggs. So 2 large eggs, and I'm gonna hit the little check box there, or check mark, excuse me. So I've got oatmeal, and I've got, oatmeal, and I've got 2 eggs. And we can see here the macro count. We can see that eggs, even though I've got more protein, by calorie amount, this is actually more fat dense than anything. Okay, whole eggs are more fat than anything. Very good source of protein. Highly recommend having them, but they are more fat dense than protein dense. Next food, I had a bunch of egg whites. So I'm going to go egg whites. Oops. and do a search. And so we got egg white, we got 1 large. Now I'm gonna go by weight. Okay, so I'm just gonna choose an option where I can see, I can probably change this from 1 large, but I'm just gonna go right down here. I see egg whites, 100 grams. I'm gonna click on that. And this says for 100 grams, I am getting 3.6 grams protein. That is not accurate. Okay, so let me just change this. I just wanna see if anything changes if I go ounce. Does it become more accurate? So 1 ounce. No, this is not accurate. But notice it's got the check. So this is good. This is great that I went through this. This is not accurate. So let's back off. And I know that you may not know this when you see it. So I'm gonna go back up to the first option here. 1 large egg white. This is accurate, but I wanna go with ounces. So I'm gonna go fluid ounces. Okay, ounce and fluid ounces, there's no difference. So fluid ounce, and I had 10 of these. So 10 fluid ounces, or what would be equivalent to 10 egg whites. Don't get freaked out. I have a very high protein diet. You're not gonna have nearly as much protein as I have in a day. So don't worry about that. So I'm gonna add that in. And you can see with egg whites, of course, with egg whites, we are getting a lot of protein here, 33 grams of protein, 1 gram of fat, 2 grams carbs. What else did I have? I had a Granny Smith apple, which was 160 grams. That's an average size apple, 160 grams. I'm gonna go Granny Smith apple. I'm gonna hit search. And let's go with this. There's a weight listed there. So 1 medium apple, 154 grams. I had 160 grams. That's good enough. Okay, if I change to 160, it's really not going to make that much of a difference. Again, if we're talking about 5 grams of apple, we're really talking maybe a couple calories. But you know what? Let's just change it and let's just see, just for the heck of it. Okay, 15 grams of carbs for 154 grams. Let's just do. So let's do ounces, okay? And just in case you want to be super nerd here, that is 5 3/4 ounces. So I'm going to go 5 3/4 ounces. Okay, or thereabouts. It's in between 2/3 and 3/4. And there we go. So there, I counted for an extra gram of carb rather than doing the 154 grams. All right, so anyways, I don't want to bore you guys with this, but I want to show you that you can see this. You should be able to see this. Now, if you want to see your macros for the day, all we have to do is click here. Go to food, click there. And we can see, now, there's 3 tabs up here. There's calories, there's nutrients, and there's macros. So let's just go to nutrients here. Nutrients. We can see our total for the day, total protein, total carbs, total fat right here. Or we could go to the macros tab. We can see right here, 59 grams of carbs, 14 grams of fat, 54 grams of protein. Okay. One cool little feature here, which makes life a lot easier. I tend to have the same breakfast almost every day. Sometimes I switch up the fruit. So let's just go. I'm just going to move ahead one day. Quick way to add the same breakfast. Just swipe. Whoops. Should be able to swipe here. Maybe this only works on a phone. Or maybe it's this way. Interesting. You should be able to swipe right. Okay, now maybe this is in the premium feature. I'm not sure. Let's go on the ellipsis here. Okay, so I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because it's on my iPad. I'm not sure. Normally, you can swipe to the right and you'll get the option add yesterday's meal or add the same meal as yesterday for breakfast. I don't see that here, so I'm just going to click on the ellipsis. Oh, okay, no, smart copy is turned on. I'm going to do copy from date, breakfast, yesterday. And it should populate. Why didn't it populate? Probably because it wants breakfast from today. Okay. So it wants breakfast from today, right? So I'm going into tomorrow. It wants breakfast for today. I say, okay, and there we go. We see my breakfast from yesterday just pop up. I don't have to do any work. Okay, same breakfast, works out great. All right, so, okay, maybe not the quickest tutorial, but 10 minutes. Nonetheless, not too long. So some things just to look at here and to take note of. There is more that I'll talk about, but there's a starting point for you and MyFitnessPal. And as I mentioned, if you're new to the challenge, just play with this, enter in some of your foods. The most important thing right now for you is to get real whole food throughout all your meals, real whole food, and at every meal, a protein source, a protein strong food, right? Which I believe if you want to look at a list of protein strong foods is on page 33 of your manual. I'm going to double check here. Page 33, yes. Page 33, okay? Protein strong foods, right there. Okay, I will talk to you guys all soon.